Hey there, boys and girls. It's Ralph Garman here. Listen, if you like Hollywood Babble-On, I think there's an excellent chance that you would like The Ralph Report, my daily podcast, Monday through Friday. Not to mention, if you sign up now as a 4-star general supporter to The Ralph Report, you get full access to the entire back catalog of Hollywood Babble-On. A decade of Hollywood Babble-On at your fingertips for being a 4-star supporter of The Ralph Report. Want to sign up? You can find The Ralph Report on Patreon.com. Just go to www.patreon.com/The Ralph Report and sign up today.
It's time to babble the fuck on. It's Hollywood Babble-On with your hosts, Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman.
It's Tuesday night in Hollywood, so let's babble the fuck on. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Ralph Garman.
You will not believe the 5-minute conversation we had about trying to figure out whether or not to say it's Tuesday night in Hollywood. But you know what? It just goes to show we put a lot of fucking care into this show.
That's right. Down to the day of the week that we say it is, even though it isn't. But when you're listening to it, it will be, hopefully.
Just so it's you never have an unpleasant moment during Babble-On. It's a bump-free flight.
It's plug and play.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Fuck. That's, you know what? 10 years in on a fucking thing.
We still care, man.
That says a lot.
Details. It's all in the details.
Welcome to Hollywood Babble-On, where we polish each other's knobs.
We're great, aren't we?
Yeah, man. That's what you do. You come to appreciate your co-host over the course of 10 years. You're like, fucking A, man. It's like, did you ever know that you're my co-host?
Everything I would like to see.
I can fly higher than at K-Rock.
'Cause we talk about shows that were on TV.
Yes, bitch. Look at that. Fucking minting lyrics. It's a hot 16 right there. Fire, as the kids used to say, Ralph. How goes by you? What you up to? Have you been watching Lovecraft Country on HBO?
I have not. My plate is full.
You with things to watch?
You know, I'm a very loyal binger. When I binge, I'm all in. And then when I finish, I move on to the next. Okay. I'm not having an orgy of television where everybody's joining in, all groping each other. I got to focus on one lover at a time.
So what lover are you into now?
I'm into Bosch.
The fuck? Seriously?
Bosch.
What about Watchmen? You watch that yet?
Yeah, I saw that.
Loved it.
Loved it.
Wasn't it amazing?
Loved it.
Fantastic.
I was a little perplexed early on. I couldn't quite put the pieces together, but as they started to fall into place, it was like one of those moments where you're like, oh, now I see how it all.
Wasn't it wonderful when Jeremy Irons was like, Miss Giuseppe, what a surprise. Like when he sees her for the first time and she's like, Adrian?
Yes.
All those little like fucking, they knew each other.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Lovecraft Country is in that very same vein. Completely.
I've heard only good things.
Fucking like makes you feel so untalented where you're like, oh, God, this is what entertainment is now. I got no business calling myself an entertainer. I should stick to podcasting. Doesn't require pictures. Because it's a beautiful show, too.
Pictures of the mind.
Yeah, but that's on the audience, man.
Yeah.
Then if they don't like what they see, it's like, well, get a better imagination.
You're a shitty painter.
Yeah. All right. So what do you want? Bosch?
Have you seen Bosch? Have you ever seen it?
Jennifer watched it.
Oh, I see. She and I
with it.
have a lot of common viewing habits. Every time I tell you about show, you're like, no, I'm not seeing it, but Jennifer's watching
Why don't you fucking put her in charge?
I'm a sucker for cop shows and crime procedurals and stuff like that.
Jennifer loves that show.
And this is really good. At least the first season was. I'm just beginning the second season now. But I love Titus Welliver, and Jason Gedrick was the big bad in season 1. It was great. It was really good. Really
Jason
good.
Gedrick, as in like fucking Iron Eagle?
Yes.
Are you shitting me?
Yes.
He was the big bad?
Yes. Which was
Jason Gedrick? Chappie?
I'm going to say it again. Yes.
Chappie, we got to save my dad.
Yes.
That Jason
Was
Gedrick?
that him? Was he an Iron Eagle?
think so. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. I'm pretty sure. Maybe. What? Now I got to look.
He was one of those teeny bopper kind of like good-looking kids.
I think I know the name Jason Gedrick expressly from Iron Eagle, but maybe I'm fucking wrong. Meanwhile, you fill the gap.
Okay. Anyway, Titus Welliver, just old school actor, has been around forever. To see him play the lead in something like this, and it's very LA centric. There's a lot of great jazz in the soundtrack and stuff, and I was really just digging it. So I'm going to finish up on that. I don't know how many seasons I have left, but I'm going to work my way through that, and then I'll move over to Lovecraft Country, I promise.
He played Reynard Waits.
Yes, Reynard Waits.
You're not kidding. That is Jason Gedrick.
Sure
and
is.
Jason Gedrick goes way the fuck back,
Yeah,
my
he's
friend.
been around forever.
To, let's see.
But he was one of those good-looking guys in like the
Heavenly
Jason
Kid.
Patrick era, where there was a bunch of hunky guys that were supposed to be the next big thing and never quite caught fire.
Look at this. All right. So he goes Iron Eagle, which was big. Promised Land, Iron Eagle 2, but he's uncredited. So is he not the star of Iron Eagle 2?
Probably not, I would guess.
Then Born on the 4th of July, Oliver Stone.
It's been a long time since I've seen that. I wouldn't know where to place him.
Backdraft,
Oh, right.
Ron Howard.
Now I remember him in Backdraft.
Crossing the Bridge. He was in that movie. That guy went on to be a famous director for a minute. Hold on, I got to click on it now. Crossing the Bridge was directed by Mike Binder.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yes. Remember Mike Binder had
I
his
do.
moment. He had a few moments.
Yeah.
Crossing the Bridge. Class of 96 was a TV show. Remember that?
Does not ring a bell.
Yeah, it was like a concept TV show. And it is Class of 96 is an American drama series that aired on Fox from January to May of 1993. So this is while we're making Clerks.
Wow.
They're airing this show. The series was created by John Romano and filmed mostly at the University of Toronto. And the synopsis, Ralph, get ready. This is how easy it was to have a TV show back then. The series focused on 7 students at Havenhurst College in New England. Although the 7 come from different backgrounds, circumstance led them to become friends. The series dealt with the differences, both in personality and social status, of the group of friends, the challenges they faced in their first year of college, and social issues such as racism and sexism. Essentially, St. Elmo's Fire, the TV show.
Right.
So he got a season out of that. And then
They're
they were
mismatched, though, Kevin. They're not supposed to be friends. They come from different backgrounds.
Why can't it ever be a fucking show where they're all
They all
like,
grew up in the same neighborhood.
they all cut from the same cloth. They're bastards, all of them. He did a TV show called Sweet Justice for a year, 22 episodes.
Nope.
Then gone.
Not remembering that either.
You might remember a little TV show on ABC called Murder One.
That's right. That's the last time I saw him something.
23 motherfucking episodes, man.
And that bald dude who was very hot there for a minute, too. He was on that.
Yeah, that dude. Remember? Do you want to know his
Daniel something.
Babuzzin. It was a B. Daniel Babuzzin.
I don't think it was
Hold
Babuzzin.
on. Daniel Babuzzin.
He was like he was like a guest star forever. He always played the bad lawyer or the bad guy. He was always like a polished dude with an attitude. And then in Murder One, he became a lead for the first time.
Why the fuck is he not listed in the cast?
You know, I'm talking
Main
about that,
characters.
right? The bald character actor,
Daniel Benzali.
Benzali. That's it.
Whatever happened to him? God, we're falling down the fucking rabbit holes here.
We're reading through a TV guide from 1993.
All because of Jason Gedrick. He's the key. 2007 was the last thing he's got. Did he pass away?
No, he was just in Bosch.
No, Daniel Benzali.
Oh, Benzali.
No, he's age 70, dude.
Yeah.
Lives in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. That's where he was born. He was born there.
Yeah.
But he hasn't done anything since 2007. But yeah, remember, he was like on fire.
Make hay while the sun shines, kids.
Fuck, you ain't kidding, man. You talk to old Daniel Benzali, he'll tell you the same thing.
Tomorrow is promised to no one.
Jumping back to Jason Gedrick, let's see what else.
What's up with Jay Ged?
He does Falcone, 9 episodes. He plays Joe
Falcone.
Pistone. He does an Outer Limits, Summer Catch in 2001. So I'm making Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. He was in the Freddie Prinze Jr. star Summer Catch.
Ugh.
Boomtown, 24 episodes. Let's see. Couple TV movies in 2003. Supernatural. He does an episode in 2006. So that show's been around for, ever.
Yes.
Desperate Housewives, season 3 and 4. He was Rick Coletti. He's always fucking worked, man.
Good for him.
He's put it all together. So anyway, you liked him in Bosch.
Great in Bosch. His performance was chilling.
Get out of
Played
here.
a serial killer, and very what's the cat's name from Seven? John Doe. Very sort of that kind of vibe.
He did 10 episodes of Dexter in 2011. Yeah, man, Jason Gedrick has worked forever, considering he's the kid from Iron Eagle.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
It'd be nice. They team him up with Louis Gossett Jr. one more time. So that fucking Chappie and him could get together. What was his character's name? Doug and Chappie.
They bring him back for Watchmen 2.
Could you imagine? I mean, why not, man? In a world where he's on Bosch, or was a couple of years ago. All right, so that's what you're watching?
Yeah.
The fucking old-ass show?
Stop it.
Well done.
I got to catch up. This
Way
is my
to fucking
catch-up
with your
time.
finger on the pulse and shit. Finally catching up to Watchmen almost a year after the fact now, going like, have you heard of this, Bosch?
Been a little busy the past year.
Have you heard of this TV miniseries called Masada?
Been a little preoccupied.
I'd like to watch that. How about...
Winds of War.
Did you ever hear of this picture name of the Holocaust? Did you ever watch Holocaust?
No.
Never when it aired?
No.
Are you shitting me? It's
I
a
made
great
I
miniseries.
made a choice not to.
Is that right?
I caught some of it. Fritz Weaver was
Yes.
being all Nazi.
Meryl Streep's in it.
I know.
And the young James Woods.
Yeah.
Speaking of. Yeah, man. Fucking
And I got so depressed. I was like, I'm not going to do this to myself right now.
It's chilling. It's
And I never
incredibly
went back.
incredibly well made.
Yeah.
But it, I haven't watched it in years.
I don't
but-
need a lot of stuff that makes me feel worse lately.
I mean, but this was in the fucking 70s.
Yeah,
bro.
but even then,
You're like, I was a freewheeling 10-year-old.
I was trying to be happy. I was trying to enjoy life. I still am.
Ralph was
Makes it
trucking
harder
around
and harder.
Philadelphia going like, don't worry, be happy. Overheard by Bobby McFerrin. He's like, I'm going to make $1 million off of that kid's sentiment. What year did you come out here?
1987
All the way to Hollywood
in my Nissan Pulsar.
from Philly.
Drove
Fresh
straight
Prince
across
of
this
Bel-Air
great
style.
country of ours. Home, smell you later, I said.
He fucking stole from you too. Another guy that stole your fucking
Yeah.
shtick. Well, you're in Hollywood now, kid. You know how I know that?
Not getting out either.
Because you got a show called Hollywood Babble-On. And
That's
we're
what they tell
in
me.
It 10 years of a fucking show.
We're balls deep in Hollywood.
We're back at the Caped Commentaries, kids. A lot of alliteration. We are power watching Batman 66. What our generation just called Batman.
That's all there was.
That's all there was until the
There were
Batman
no
movie.
others.
And then we were like, oh, Batman, old Batman.
Yeah.
Can't be Batman.
Then it was Batman TV and Batman movie.
And now there's been so many Batman
so
TVs.
many Batman.
You got to say Batman 66. This is a show we grew up watching. This is a show that Ralph has forgotten more about than most people will ever know. He's a font of fun information on this. This is how we got to the Avengers, how we got to Black Panther, and we should
Rest
of course
in
rest
peace.
in peace, Chadwick Boseman, for heaven's sakes.
Have you
Marking
changed
this
your
in
mind
time.
about your colonoscopy in the wake of recent news?
Yes, Gladys. My wife did the same thing to me the other day. Because I was like, I don't know if I want to get that done. And she goes, do it for Chadwick Boseman. I was like, oh, you're right. All right. Fair enough. Sooner or later, I'm getting it.
I'm guessing later.
As late as I can. I mean, oi. But in any event, this is how you get there. You don't get to them wonderful Marvel movies without first Adam West and Burt Ward strapping on tights, sliding down poles.
This was proof to the money men that you could put comic book material, treat it with A-list production values, throw some money at it, and reap big rewards. And that's the only time Hollywood listens, is when someone has a smash hit with something. And that was the first time comic books were treated as, hey, wait a minute, there may be some money in this content.
Hey, adults will watch this shit.
Let's do more of this.
And they're kids. And boy, they figured out real quick that you could sell a Batman thing or two, couldn't you?
Ain't that the truth?
Ralph's got a room full of this merch, man. Gave up a king's ransom to buy a bunch of old crap that he treats like treasures. How much is your collection worth?
Well, according to
have you insured it with Lloyd's of London?
Lisa Welchel from Facts of Life. You probably have you ever watched the show called Collector's Call on MeTV?
I'm gonna wait. Is she on that show?
She's the host of the show.
Oh, okay.
And Lisa Welchel will come to your house with an expert, and they will peruse your
Blair
collection.
From the Facts of Life.
Indeed. And they will peruse your collection, and they will talk about it, and then the expert gives you a number of what he thinks that your collection is worth. And I think they were being generous.
They came to your house?
Yes. It was the
Blair from fucking Facts of Life came to your house?
The last thing I did in the old bat cave at the old house before I had to buy two homes, which is what you do sometimes when someone doesn't want to be married to you anymore. You have to buy them a house.
Has it aired yet?
Very strange ritual.
So weird.
Yes, it aired. And it's a little half-hour show. It's a fun little tour of your...
She
your
is single, I believe.
No, she's not. Well, no, she was there with her boyfriend.
She got a boyfriend now.
On set. She has a boyfriend.
She was married. Remember, she got married like early on, and then they got divorced.
Yes.
And she was very religious.
Yes.
She got a new man now, though.
She, very nice guy. They were hanging out at the house all day while we shot. And so the guy came in.
Every interview I've seen her in, she's really personable and funny.
She's adorable and hilarious.
Yeah.
And we had a great time.
Not like Blair at all.
No, not at all. She's a sweetheart.
So weird to find out that there are actors and actresses that aren't
unlike
anything.
Their characters. Yeah. So the
what'd she value it at?
The appraiser that she brought, a collectibles expert, he said roughly $1 million.
You got $1 million worth of Batman stuff?
That's what he claims.
You better fucking put the alarm on, kid, because everyone who just heard this put a bounty on your fucking head. They're like, I'm going over to that sad-ass bachelor pad, and I'm stealing what little light he's got left in his life. Sliding down the bat hole and removing his last hope of shredding humanity.
I've got a vicious attack dachshund that won't let that happen.
Yeah. Fucking, if you've been listening to this show, you know that dog's going to run into a cage and be like, take it. I'll suck your dick. Just leave me alone.
Reggie the Wonder Dog.
One time I was in my cage and poop got on me. I hate life. I wish I thought to steal his shit and sell it and get the fuck out of here. Go back to Germany where I'm from. Where'd she come from or he come from?
Reggie came from, I want to say, Missouri?
Daisy Hill Puppy Farm.
One of those, yeah.
Home of Snoopy.
That's right. So anyway, I think they were being generous.
This poor son of a bitch. It's the same old fucking story you've heard your whole life. This Midwestern kid comes to Hollywood and gets ruined. Day one here. Ruined, comes out of his cage covered in his own sick and filth, and you're like, welcome to Hollywood.
We're gonna make you a star.
Poor Reggie.
Right off the bus. No, so I think they were being generous for television purposes. I think they wanted to make it sound more impressive than it was. And if any of that is true, it's because I do have some screen used props and costumes and stuff and everything, and that stuff can get pretty pricey when you
if you're
at the right auction.
She delivered the information like, this collection's worth $1 million, and that there are the facts of life.
She did not say that.
Then she's missing a fucking low-hanging fruit opportunity right there.
She is adorable, and I enjoyed spending time with her enormously. And they have you bring a friend along with you, because they're usually afraid, I think, the collectors are stiffs and not going to be able to deliver. So if you bring someone from your personal life in on the interview, I think
Who'd you bring?
I asked Nina West, Adam's daughter, to be my second.
That's really cool.
Second on the show because
she's more lively than you.
Well, she's prettier than me, that's for sure. But I just thought it would be fun to have someone there.
Depends who you ask, my friend. But you're absolutely right.
Someone there representing Adam in absentia, I thought would be fun, and it worked out really well. She was able to tell stories that only a daughter can. So it was cool.
And you watched the aired edited piece?
Yes, it came out very well.
How long was it?
Just a half hour.
They spent 30 minutes in your house?
No, they edited it down to 30 minutes. They spent all day in my house.
What was the show called?
It's called Collector's Call.
Collector's Call.
Yeah, the gimmick at the end of it is the expert they bring in to assess your collection brings with him a prized piece of memorabilia and then offers to swap it for something that they've had their eye on in your collection, and then they see it's the collector's call. Are you going to take the trade, or are you going to pass on the trade?
And you're the collector, so it's your call.
It is. That's why it's collector's call.
What was the trade that was offered to you? Anything?
He had some original screen-used patches from some Batman episodes. The Clock King's patch, a penguin patch from one of his costumes, and he was trying to get some stuff from me. And
no deal or no deal.
It was
I believe is what the original title of the show is.
I countered. He wanted my Corgi Batmobile, my 1966 Corgi Batmobile.
You only have one?
Yeah. And I did not give him that, but I traded a screen used script from one of the episodes that he had his eye on.
Did you have duplicates?
Yes.
And you traded it for what? For his patches?
For the penguin patch. He would only give up one.
And it was the penguin patch?
It was the penguin one. It was the one Penguin wore on his jockey silks for the episode where he is a horse jockey.
You're thinking you know a guy and you got this whole fucking secret life where you're doing TV shows.
I thought about having you come on as my second.
Facts of Life. Well, why not? I would have liked to have met fucking Blair. Holy shit, I spent my childhood with her, looking at her, going like she sure is pretty.
But I think it was going to be a day-long shoot, and I think you may have even been out of town. I don't know when we were doing it, but...
it was very smart to, of course, bring Adam West's
Plus, I also wanted to talk during the episode, so I thought maybe...
Oh, my God, I would have been like, Ralph, shut up. Let me tell you about Ralph's collection.
Let me ask you a question about what it was like to work with Cloris Leachman after Charlotte Ray left the show.
When Chucky Ray... who admittedly we all feel was our favorite. She's like, I'm sorry, Chucky Ray. I was like, you guys didn't call her that? She's like, no.
No, we called her Charlotte.
Not at all, y'all. She's from Texas.
Originally, yeah.
Yeah.
She was on the Mickey Mouse Club.
Yes, I remember. And I watched that edition. I'm telling you, there was a real missed opportunity here, Ralph. That's super famous to me. If you tell me like, hey, do you want to meet fucking, Billie Eilish? I'm like, well, like, sure. But not like, oh, you're a very talented young lady.
Right. Good day to you.
Yeah. You tell me, do you want to meet fucking Blair from number one? You could have just said Lisa Whelchel, and I would have been like, Blair, and also the girl from fucking the new Mickey Mouse Club. She was not my big crush on the new Mickey Mouse Club. There was a girl named Allison who I wanted to marry. She didn't go on to Facts of Life, though.
No.
Facts of Life also had Molly Ringwald in the first season.
Indeed it did.
Oh my God, I would have went long, and you're smart not to invite me.
I may have dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
She's
good podcast material though. Man, get her number.
All right.
I'd fucking talk to her.
I think she's local now. She was living someplace else, but they were at the time.
Could you imagine being able to talk to a kid that like, I watched you on the new Mickey Mouse Club?
She's probably never heard that before, Kevin.
I watched you, culturally important Silent Bob.
Oh, I see the angle.
Watched you. No. In Malcolm's documentary about me, he interviews Penn Jillette, and at one point Penn is like, he was gushing like about deep cut stuff about, Penn and Teller and stuff, and he's going, and I'm, like, we've been doing this for a long time, so I meet a lot of people who are like, oh my God, I remember
that one trick you did?
Yes, and blah, blah, blah.
You're Chris Farley on Saturday Night Live.
But he was like, he goes, but not many are as culturally relevant as Kevin, which like, of course I was like, to hear a guy that I've always idolized call me culturally relevant and be like, normally I'm like, oh, shucks. But I was like, he ain't fucking lying. Like, well done. Well said. So I
You're
think
saying Blair will be dutifully impressed.
I think Blair would be like, look, a lot of people have said, number one, she's like, I'm not going to be anything if you keep calling me fucking Blair, Silent Bob, something name. I think Lisa Welcher would be like, look, who are you again? And then once I explained and showed her my IMDb list and maybe my Wikipedia page, I think she would be like, wow, a lot of people have told me they watched me on Mickey Mouse, the new Mickey Mouse Club, but
no one is culturally relevant as you.
Yes, to
Silent
some people
Bill.
in the world, as you seem to be. Heretofore, I hadn't known this until today. I think I know your friend. I was in his house looking at.
She'll say, I watched some episodes of King of Queens, too, and it was really, really entertaining.
Did you, how did the day end? You guys swap
us naked in bed.
Fucking, I can only dare dream.
I did have the hugest crush on her back.
Who didn't, man?
You'd be surprised. This is one of those Ginger and Marianne questions where you can ask half a dozen people who was your crush on Facts of Life, and you will get half of them with a different answer. Which has surprised me always because there was only for me, Blair. I only had eyes for Blair.
And she was so funny.
Yeah, she was great on that show. My buddy, Eddie Pence, who I do the Ralph Report with, a diehard Joe fan. Nancy McKeon.
Is that right? I mean, I could see that. I like Joe, but still, Blair.
Joe was a butch mechanic.
And she came later in the show. I go for the OGs.
Yeah, me too.
And of that foursome, Joe came in season, I want to say 2, maybe 3, probably 2. Yeah, I think 2.
We'll have to save that for the Facts of Kevin podcast we do, where we do a color commentary of every episode of Facts of Life.
I wouldn't call it the Facts of Kevin, Ralph.
You wouldn't?
No. You know how there's a staircase in their house?
Mm-hmm.
The Eastland house, Eastland School for Girls, the particular dormitory house that our Facts of Life girls lived in. Always pictured in every season standing on the, staircase in ascending, descending order.
Yes.
I would call my Facts of Life podcast Stairway to Kevin. It's deep cuts.
Very deep.
It don't live right there on the surface. Probably not a good marketing call.
Probably not.
But classy. And do you know what song I would open with?
I'm guessing the Facts of Life theme?
Stairway to Heaven.
Oh, sorry. Sure.
No, you're right. Facts of Life theme. Of course I'd have to.
Yes. Maybe
Maybe a mixture of both. Get one of them DJs who could put fucking
Mashups?
two songs together. Yeah, one of them mashups that used to be popular like 10 years ago.
Sure.
All I'm saying is next time, fucking,
I will call. You'll be the first person I call.
Holy fuck.
Next time Blair comes to
any
my house.
other
Had I known
Facts of Life girls coming to your house.
Had I known
Mindy Cohn can show up.
Sure.
Fucking
Kim Fields might stop.
Oh, you better call. You better call. Because if you don't call, that will be trouble. Make it a double. Facts of Life, kids.
Had I known this level of passion, I would have booted Nina West right out the door, and I would have absolutely brought you on.
The way you feel about Batman 66, that was my Facts of Life.
Had I only known. See, 10 years in,
You think you know
side
that.
by side, there's still more to learn about you.
These are the facts.
You're
learning the facts of life.
You're an artichoke whose spiny leaves just peel away more delicious meat.
I'm like an onion, and the deeper you get into me, the more I make you cry.
Ain't that the truth?
Or vice versa. The deeper you get into me, the more I cry. I'm like, ow!
Stop peeling me.
Not to the balls, just the tip. And that's where we don't. If you're looking for just the tip, go find another Batman podcast.
Yeah.
We take it to the hilt. We take it to the balls and then stuff the balls in as well. Isn't that weird?
Dog in the bathtub.
Is that what it's called? There's a name for it?
Yeah.
Dog in the bathtub.
Because it's hard to keep in.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You look, we could shut the show down right now because you ain't going to learn anything more useful than that term tonight. Who is the villain, Ralph? Got to be the Mad Hatter.
It is indeed. The 13th Hat, our first episode starring very established and successful character actor David Wayne, whose career goes all the way back to...
Not to be confused with the director and star of The State,
No.
David Wayne.
No. Spelled differently.
Wow.
W-A-Y-N-E.
Homonyms of one another.
Much like Bruce Wayne, if you will.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah. He had been around a long time before he.
Maybe that's why he did the show. He was just like, his name's like Matt. Do your impression of this guy.
Jervis Stitch, the Mad Hatter.
What else? Yeah, so I've heard him do that voice in other places.
Maybe you have. I don't know.
I think it was his thing, right?
Some folks may remember him on
Sounds a
the
little like Snagglepuss.
on the long-running mystery family show Ellery Queen with the late James Hutton playing Ellery Queen, and he played his father on that show. That's where I knew him after Batman. But
and whenever you saw him, were you like, that's
the Mad Hatter?
the Mad Hatter.
Look out for his instant mesmerizer.
Where's his funny hats on this show? They're like, this show ain't about that.
Dummy.
This is the fucking Jim Hutton show. Grow up. And that's how Ralph learned about life.
That's right.
The facts of life, if you will. Then he tuned into that show, and that softened things. That's why it was so important when he met Lisa Whelchel that he couldn't fucking bother to text me. Do you have a photo with her?
Yeah, someplace, not with me, but I'll send it along.
Who asked for the selfie?
There was set photos. They took a bunch of pictures with all of us.
You didn't take one of her on your phone?
I did not, no.
Did she take one of you on her phone?
I did not, no.
It'd be amazing if she's like, whips out her phone and she's like, can you move? I'm trying to shoot your fucking collection.
She's probably trying to shoot the house. We were talking mostly about real estate while she was there because she was moving to town and she was looking for a property, and I was in the midst of selling my house because of the divorce. So we got into long conversations about real estate, basically.
The fuck, seriously?
Yeah.
Were you like, buy this house?
Yeah. Hey, where's that Facts of Life money? Buy this one.
Well, she was Blair. What was her last name on the show?
Warner.
Blair Warner was rich.
I know.
She could
Once
buy her
again,
house.
Kevin.
Her daddy could buy the house for her.
Once again, actors not always having everything in common with the characters that they play.
Good point, man. I watched the behind the scenes on the Facts of Life like many times, and hearing her talk about like getting the job, like it's crazy. She was so like she was doing an impression of somebody.
Yes.
And
she was a quiet little bookworm of a kid. Yeah.
And she was like, just threw this thing on, and it was the furthest thing from her personality. And yet that performance, while very, funny, like you swore that like she's this
stuck up
vapid,
bitch.
fucking snob kind of in real life. She was good at her fucking job, man.
I got to get you two together.
I mean, fuck, dude. I'm just saying. That's famous. Anybody who was on TV that I was watching when I was a kid, that's fucking famous.
Well, those are the people that always mean the most to you. I mean, when I was working at K-Rock, we had tons of stars walk through the door, and it was always the guy or gal that I had watched when I was a kid that would make me shake in my sneakers. But, Dave Grohl would walk in. I'd be like, hey, Dave, what's up? One of the biggest rock stars in the world. He's like, oh, he's a nice guy. But then Shatner would come in or something, and I'd be like, hello, Mr. Shatner.
Who was
Captain Kirk was in front of me.
Who was the one you were most looking forward to that turned out to be the biggest disappointment?
You're going to be shocked about this.
Okay.
Based on your relationship with him.
The fuck? Somebody I know?
Very well. Broke my heart. And I don't think at all it was on purpose. I think it might have just been a bad day. But Carlin really
came into the show?
Came into the show, yeah.
And?
He was selling his book, Brain Droppings at the time. And he came in to promote it, and I think some gigs as well. And he came in with a newspaper, and when the mics were live, he would talk, and during stop sets, songs or commercials, he would put the newspaper up in front of his face and wouldn't engage with anyone. And I had Brain Droppings. I brought it with me, and I went in, I said, Mr. Carlin, I loved the book. Could you please sign it for me? And he wordlessly took it from me, signed it, handed it back to me, went back to the newspaper.
Whoa.
And I was like, oh my God, either he hates me or he's having a bad day or something, but this is not how I imagined this meeting going.
Total pro, though. Like
total pro.
When the fucking,
total
on
pro.
air.
Funny, charming, great stories, witty. But when the mics were off, he wanted nothing to do with me or anybody else.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have that experience.
It wasn't like he was rude or anything. He was just not
powered down.
Yeah, not engaged. He had no interest. And the vibe was coming off of him. Don't try, And when you meet somebody like that, you always assume you're going to have some sort of funny interchange or anecdote, or we're going to get along. And, you know, my whole life watching him, I thought, well, we would probably have some laughs together if we ever met. And it just was not to be. So missed opportunity.
Fucking A, man. Yeah. Look at that. You had an answer at the ready.
Yeah. Because people have asked me that before, and that's always my go-to. Not because there's been a lot of people who are worse in the room.
Right.
Some real dicks I've had to deal with. But personally, the one that disappointed me the most, not the person, but the interaction, that's the one that always stuck with me.
Who was a dick in the room?
Bill Maher.
Was it like what do you mean a dick in the room?
Like an active dick, like an asshole.
What's an example of that?
Coming in, complaining about the coffee and about the temperature of the room. And I can't believe I had to come in here today. And I drove in here to do radio. I mean, he had made no bones about the fact that he had nothing but disdain for everyone that was there and the whole process and the whole thing. Couldn't even fake it.
What was he there to promote?
I think some gigs, or maybe it was real time. I don't know. Just an unmitigated prick.
So essentially,
unfiltered.
The dude on TV.
Yeah. Unfiltered asshole. Didn't care who heard it. Didn't even try to varnish it. And under some level of, you know, social niceties, just came in, guns a-blazing asshole.
So weird because he's a stoner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had a run-in or two with Bill.
Yeah.
He went after me not too long ago.
Yeah, something about comic book movies or something.
Yeah, or like they dress like this when it's like,
yeah,
I haven't dressed like that in a long time. But even when I did dress like that, why is that bad? Sometimes he seems cranky.
He tagged you with the Too Fat to Fly thing in one interview, didn't he? When you came on, I remember.
I wasn't on, but he had said some shit.
Oh, right. And you called him out when you came on. Yeah. Yeah, not a happy man. That's what more than anything, he seemed just desperately unhappy to be him.
Right.
And I'm like, what do you have to be so miserable about? You got a television show and he's
alone.
But if you ask him, that's the way he likes to be.
Yeah, but I don't think
marriages for suckers and kids are awful, and that's the thing he sells. Maybe you have to in order to live with yourself.
That is his brand.
Yeah.
Wow, man. You're getting the fucking down low on Batman 66, aren't you?
You haven't gotten anything yet.
Let's dive in, shall we? The episode is season 1, episode 13. Yes. The 13th hat.
Yep.
Part 1, and then the second part.
How appropriate. Episode 13 is the 13th hat.
Oh my God, you're right. The second one is Batman Stands Pat.
And I'll give you a little hint as we go into it.
Yeah, you better not. Let me ask my wife first. Can Ralph give me a little hand?
Hint, not hand.
Oh, sorry.
The 13th hat in this episode represents Batman's cowl, because the whole motivation behind Judith Tetch and his reign of terror in this episode is he's going to get the hat of every one of the jurors that convicted him. It sent him to jail, and Batman was the prime witness, and so he's going to steal Batman's cowl as well as kill him.
So hold that thought. Let's start it. Hey, press play, everybody. Get ready. 3, 2, 1. Pressing play, and it's starting up. We'll tell you when to sync.
We'll tell you. Don't
Batman in color. All right, man. Here we go. Fade out and fade in. Gotham City skyline, ladies and gentlemen. So wait, you're saying that this episode begins
stock footage?
It is it?
Yeah, it's 50s,
and it's like
man.
fake footage too. They're presupposing that Batman has faced down
the Mad Hatter already
before
we joined this world.
This isn't even their first meeting.
Nope.
Wow, he took that dude's hat, but
yep.
I mean that makes sense.
My instant mesmerizer.
Look at that effect, man. That's straight out of Avengers Endgame right there.
David Wayne had a bulb in his hand with a pneumatic tube that ran up the back of his costume into that hat to make it pop up like that. And often if you watch the episode closely, you can see him holding the bulb in his hand as he walks through the scene. So a little something to look for.
No, just to get ready.
When he presses it, that's when it would pop open.
He's another. Once again, this dude's just stealing everybody. That's my cap. Was the Mad Hatter a comic book character?
Yes, well-established comic villain by this point. Used a ton through the 50s, especially because he was sort of non-threatening and innocuous. But this was one of the first Batman villains that had been well-established in the comics by this point.
You're talking about an era where people still wore fucking hats. But
Yeah,
did they
really.
when they made the show?
Yeah, sure.
Even in the 60s?
Mhm.
They were still hatting it up?
Yeah.
You don't see our heroes in hats. You see them in cowls.
You do.
You see them in masks. I guess Chief O'Hara gets to wear a hat. There you go.
He does indeed.
The law in this town.
Anytime Gordon's out in the world, he's got a hat on.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Too much money.
Jervis
Too
Tetch, I
much-
believe this is the first time they identify a villain by his name, at least used in the comics. In the Mr. Freeze episode, they call him Dr. Shivel, but that's not his name as
Right.
we know him. But
And the
Jervis,
Riddler, they never say.
They
It's
never
Edward
say- they
Nygma,
never
and
say
the Joker
Selena
is the
Kyle.
Joker. They never say Selena Kyle. You're
Yeah.
right. So Jervis Tetch.
yeah, Jervis Tetch, the first time we see we get the real identity of one of these villains.
The does this incarnation of the Mad Hatter look anything like the then comic book incarnation?
Yeah, very similar. They gave him a red wig because Hatter in the comics had a red wig. The mustache is also based on the comic character of the era. I mean, that character has changed significantly. It started off as very much from Alice in Wonderland with the giant tag in the brim and everything. Then morphed to this version, and then of course they went back to
Alice in
the
Wonderland.
OG one. Yeah.
Look at this guy. He's just like, maybe we can replace the Shakespeare bust with this.
That's
Something a little smaller.
It's a new statue that Bruce ordered. He's very proud of it.
Got it from Amazon delivery Prime. I think he's got his Prime.
No, that's a collectible, man. That came from a respected dealer. I'm
Take
sure.
this, old tall man. I can't be bothered to drop it.
Well, he is the butler. He's got to do some butling.
Oh, look who's back, everybody. The Dangler.
That's her secret identity. Worst superhero ever, the Dangler.
You can always, even if she's wearing a mask, you can pick her out of a crowd because she's sitting there pedaling in midair. God, she does remind me of my grandmother.
I know.
My grandmother could have totally done this show. We would have had such a different relationship. I mean, I loved my grandmother. She loved me. But could you imagine if we were able to then also bond with, like, what was it like to be in the Bat?
She was Batman's aunt.
Well, I was never in the Batcave, as you'll remember. I didn't know who is Batman.
Stupid old woman.
Yeah, I'd be like, come
Why
on, don't keep up this charade. Like, I know it was a set. Look at that, the dramatic push in on the poles. It's a shot straight out of a Kevin Smith movie right there. I shoot like the Batman TV show. I'm proud to say, as rudimentary as this, ain't nothing wrong with it. It's fucking
Next Jay and Silent Bob movie, you have to put an animated title sequence like this in.
We already did a whole animated Jay and Silent Bob movie, and you were in it.
I know, but I'm just saying it'd be fun to have you
And the next Jay and Silent Bob movie, fuck, man, we just got done with one.
Do another one.
And there was like
I need work.
18 years between the first one and the next one.
Pick up your pace.
We'll speed it up a little bit. I think when Jay's kid is 18, 19, we should go for it one more time. Because then she could play Harley's kid in the movie, and we go on an adventure with her. So that's presupposing that this kid wants to be an actress, which so far, not really.
Not showing an interest?
Yeah,
Well, she's
doesn't-
little still. Who knows?
She doesn't like attention. And she also won't like perform for Jay on camera. If Jay's like, here, do something on my Facebook Live or whatever, or my Twitch, she's just like,
Well, what was Harley like when she was little? Did she want to show off and do stuff?
Yeah, she was like fucking little Ethel Merman. She was like, everything's coming up. She was kind of shy too.
I think
Oh,
most
there's
kids
that
are.
font, which I say every week.
Yep. That you stole.
I got to do some I did steal it. I got to do some research, man. That's got to be Mulholland Drive, 1966.
I believe it is.
That's fucking crazy. No wonder I drive it all the time. I bet you if I could get onto which lot is this?
This shot, the front of police headquarters, that's Warner's.
I bet you if I can get on. I bet you if I lived or if I worked in Warner Brothers, I would go eat lunch on the steps here all the time.
That'd be awesome.
Go running inside, park right in front. Probably don't say that anymore. There they are.
Yep.
They shaped my childhood, Ralph. I know they shaped yours.
They're shaping my adulthood. You kidding
Yeah,
me?
really.
I never let go.
They're shaping our fucking podcasting as we speak.
The gift that keeps on giving, this show.
It is just the fucking bright and warm tones of a happy childhood, man. So much wood grain in this show.
It was the
Wayne Manor and of course, Gotham City
the style of the day.
police station.
Wood was rich. If you had wood, you were somebody. Most
The
people had wallpaper and plaster.
think he's read any of those books?
All of them.
No.
Probably a bunch of.
He's not a judge. He's the fucking commissioner.
No, he
He's
knows
like,
the
who's
law.
got time to fucking read a book? I'm out there busting
Right,
crime.
all
and
police
shit.
codes, all that stuff he's got to know. He's a commissioner.
You think he's haunted by some shit he's seen back in the day?
The ones that got away.
Or just like some crime scenes
Oh,
that
yeah.
like, he's like, Batman, one time I saw a man who'd been pulled out through his own nose like a mummy. He had his two nuts replacing his eyeballs.
Did I ever tell you about that disembodied hooker I once found when I pounded a beat?
And this guy, fucking, do you think for the rest of his life, when he walked down the street, people were like, hey, thanks for the Irish stereotype, you fucking jerk? Or do you think it was like, look, every cop in movie and TV was an Irish stereotype at that point?
It was a standby in the biz.
Chief O'Hara. Who played him?
Stafford Rep.
Was he a real Irishman or not?
I believe not.
Tori Chitori. Oh, look at this guy. You're right, man. They gave him he did. I mean, do you think it's even dyed hair or is that a fright wig?
That's a wig.
Just glued
Yeah,
on.
That's a wig.
What is, and is this his hideout?
It is. The abandoned warehouse doubles as his secret headquarters. And there is his moll, Lisa.
She doesn't have to wear a hat.
No. Played by the great Diane McBain, who some people may recognize from the Elvis Presley movie Spin Out. But she comes back on Batman in a very important episode to us, Kevin Smith. She plays Pinky Pinkston in the episode where Batman meets the Green Hornet.
Get out of here.
Yes,
so she's another twofer?
She will return as a separate character. Yeah.
Why does he want to get all the jury hats?
Revenge, Kevin.
But what does he do? He's just stealing their hats?
No,
and
he kidnaps them as well. You know that instant mesmerizer he uses
Yeah.
from his hat? They collapse, and then he takes them and kidnaps them.
Where are they?
They're hidden in that secret headquarters.
So, and in this room, he's just,
in the hat factory.
makes sense. Yeah, you'd never look for the Mad Hatter there.
No.
So he's building a fake jury out here to showcase their hats.
Yes.
But enter at your own risk. Back here, do we get to see the real people?
No, I don't think you see them until Batman comes to rescue them.
That'd be
But they're
kinda
alluded to.
What is the idea? Is he going to kill them?
This is a machinery that makes hats. It cuts the felt and stretches
I remember
it
this.
and blocks it and flails it. Those are the flailing knives. And so the plan is to strap Batman to that conveyor belt and to rend the flesh from his bones and kill him for testifying against Jervis Tetch in court.
I mean,
I remember seeing this as a kid saying, that looks awful. That would really, it's going to hurt Batman if he gets in there.
what? And so is he going to do? Look at that. It's the rare time when the Dutch tilt shifted within the shot.
Oh, yeah. I never noticed that before. Look at you.
Yeah, me. I'm the new Ralph Garman who can notice shit people don't see. Well, I mean, was he intending to do that to the entire jury as well?
I'm trying to remember whether he's going to hold them for ransom or whether he's going to kill them as well. I believe he's going to ransom them off and he's going to kill Batman.
So that's his big plan is I'm going to kill the Batman.
He's going to murder Batman. Yes.
And then when
Is that
he's
not
done,
enough for you, Kevin?
I mean, it's very Jokerish.
Yeah. He's a mad hatter. He's mad.
Good point. Yeah, he's
Literally.
pissed. This guy's
Yes, he's
really
both
pissed
of those.
off.
He's pissed.
He ain't crazy. He's just pissed.
He's mad and crazy.
I'm mad as a hatter. And I'll tell you right now, I'm getting the entire jury and anyone who was a witness against me.
Here they are. There's the jury room there.
Oh my God, man. When was the last time anyone let them go to the bathroom? Look at her looking and smiling and shit.
Yeah, she's
He's like, watch me, my darling. I can fuck any of them in the mouth.
she's pretty twisted.
That'd be amazing. There's like a 5-minute scene where he goes in there and he picks like the cook guy. Open your mouth. And he uses his mesmerizer. And the dude opens his mouth and a tear rolling down his cheek because he he's trapped
dark.
and he can't do it. He can't resist, but
It's not
like
Saw. It's Batman.
and fucking he just quietly humps this dude's mouth for like 2 minutes straight. And while he does it, he looks at each one of the other people from the jury. And he's just like, you thought I was guilty then? I can't do the voice.
Wait till I present the final evidence from my penis.
Oof. That's dark.
That's dark.
But you know what? That's what a true bad guy would do.
Yeah.
It's my one complaint about all the Batman villains and
Not
stuff.
enough mouth rape.
There's not enough, like, you know, you want to see how bad I am?
Why do it always got to be sex stuff, man?
I mean,
Why
because
you gotta go there?
that's a true violation, man. And if he, like, you know, if you're making a dude who doesn't normally, you know, suck a dick, that's
evil.
I mean, not evil, but like, yeah, no, I guess it is evil. Right?
It is.
Boy, they really let people just fucking hang all over the car, man. No security system, no worries, no fears.
Who's going to steal Batman's car? What kind of fool would steal Batman's
The Mad
car?
Hatter. He's
Oh,
going to kill him. He's going to do more than fucking steal his car. What's going to happen to his car after he kills Batman?
Remember the Riddler in a
Drive it.
previous episode tried to steal it, and the fireworks went off in the back of the Batmobile. It's got anti-theft systems built in.
Mad Hatter couldn't use the mesmerizer on the car. Who's this?
That's just a hat check girl who was there when the Mad Hatter came and took the hat of the fireman that he now holds in the factory.
Did she ever return to the series, or
No,
is she one and done?
She's a little guest star.
Friend of the family, you think, or like they actually auditioned her?
I think they auditioned her because this scene has her playing like she's the dumb, ditzy redhead who's comic relief. So I think they probably had to audition her.
Scene's already entirely too long.
Stop it.
Can't believe how long it's going on.
It's because you're reading and not listening. If you listen to her funny performance, you'd say, damn, she did a nice little job with
I'm
that
not taking
piece."
away from her performance. I'm taking away from the editor. Look out, everybody. This is a Batman that just like
Punches people.
lopes past people as he tries to get in his car. Everybody drooling over that damn car.
It's because it's the best car ever. That's why.
Look at him. Look at
You know,
him
there's a
all
guy now who makes
in hats.
replicas of that car you can get for $150K. You can have your own Batmobile. Loaded, everything.
Loaded, meaning it's got a phone.
Fire comes out the back. It's got the parachutes, everything you could want.
Street legal.
Yeah. I'm going to get one.
I'm
one
not
of these days.
a rich man, so it's never occurred to me to own a Batmobile. I'm just happy I have a car. But I don't know that I need that car. Particularly, like, what about when it rains?
You don't want to drive it when it rains.
Is there an additional dome?
I do believe it comes with plexiglass pieces that you
I
can
remember
put on
one of the
top it.
car toys had full dome as a kid that I had that I played with.
Yeah, I believe that was made by Duncan, the company that made that version.
People just cheaped out where they're like, we're not going to fucking cut it.
Oh, my God.
Kids will never
It's
notice.
just
Meanwhile,
dumb.
all of us were like, that's not what the Batmobile looks like.
Yeah. I think there may have been a Mego playset that had that, too.
Dun, 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 dun. That's their Mego used that as the Batman and Robin music.
Yeah, right.
Because they wouldn't, I guess they didn't want to pay for
real
but they used dun, 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 dun. And music was licensing music was even a thing then, Ralph.
Yeah.
Were they on a hill or were they just severely Dutch tilted?
They were tilted. Like, again.
Oh,
like this
yeah.
is.
Look at that. That's severe. I mean, that is a crazy angle because it makes it look like they're parked on a hill when really that's not the case at all.
And look at the proportion. The back of the Batmobile is just huge in the
Yeah.
foreground there. It's so cool.
Almost like a fisheye lens. Oh, he trips into the room practically. Cape off one arm and stuff. I like when the people stare at his face. Like the mall in the background was just staring at him as if trying to figure out who's under that.
No, he's so handsome that most women are just struck by him.
How can you tell he's handsome? All you can see is chin.
Yeah, look at that jaw, man.
You got to be really into chins to think he's necessarily handsome. I mean, I guess you could see his eyes and shit, but
Those bow lips, those cheekbones. Oh, man.
then he takes off the fucking cowl and
He's
he's
dreamy.
got like a hatchet scar across the top of his head, his bald head, and you're like, you're gonna have to deal with this. I got in a fight with the Joker and he nearly killed me.
Octave Marbeau, the sculptor.
What is the who else is this motherfucker gonna put to sleep?
He's working his way through the jury. I forget who's up next.
What was he up for the first time?
I don't know if they said what his initial crime was.
I mean, wouldn't it be funny if we found out like it was barely a crime and he was like sent up for
Batman planted some evidence.
Yeah, or not even that, just like, wrong place, wrong time and shit. And so it turned him into this hard-ass criminal who came up with a mesmerizing device. Like, why bother with this? Oh, it's the rare shot where they come in and get out of the car. So this is like where the scene's continuing.
Yep.
How awesome. Do you think they like the scenes where they get to drive in and then act?
Yeah, although Adam said the car was impossible to drive.
Really?
Like, it was really heavy, and the brakes weren't great. And so to hit his mark, he said, was a nightmare.
Probably just put like big old like sandbags down.
Yeah, maybe.
This is my kind of composition. Car pulls in, we pull back a little bit, let our
People
guys
talk for a while.
walk around in frame, saying everything you need to hear. Maybe we pull back. This is where it gets more complex.
The giant lighted lucite map of Gotham City.
Which finally one day becomes the Bat Map or something like
I don't
that.
believe so. I think it always stayed the giant lighted lucite map of Gotham City.
I mean, talk about being a literalist. I mean, but
That
the
was
guy
part
is
of the-
called Batman, and he's dressed like a bat, and he is a man, so I guess that makes sense. Robin, not so much. Doesn't look like his namesake.
You don't think?
None of those colors scream Robin to me.
Oh, Robin Redvest?
Robin Redbreast. I
Exactly. Breast, vest. It all ties in, man.
thought. Yeah, but then why not go with Will Scarlet
Yeah.
or some sort of shit like that? I mean, it's crazy. That would not be the first thought that occurred to me looking at his vest. They're pushing it on the atomic pile where she's like, I'm still alive.
Stop.
I'm slowly dying.
Let
You can
Molly go.
Save me. You can save me, heroes. Now, where is this?
This is at the studio of famous sculptor Octave Marbeau.
I mean, what lot? Is this also Warner Brothers?
I think it's back a lot of Fox.
Why did they do two different lots?
For two different setups, they didn't have everything they needed. And then the interiors, I think, were done at Fox. The big sets were on Fox, but they also shot a ton at Raleigh. Remember the Raleigh studios on Sunset?
Yeah.
They shot a bunch of stuff there.
Get out of here, really?
Yeah. So they shot all over the city.
Why?
Anti-theft activator, see?
Oh, there it is.
You
So
try to
nobody can
steal
steal it.
it.
But it doesn't mean they can't like just spit on a seat to be like, you fucking fascist, defund Batman. And, that's not going to trip the alarm, but it's going to be unpleasant when he sits in it. He's like, I'm going to have to change my shorts. Who's this clown?
This is Jervis Tetch.
He's in disguise?
Yes, he's taken on the identity of Octave Marbeau, the sculptor, who is, by the way, sculpting a statue of Batman.
Fucking fooled me. I looked and saw that statue and felt like that looks like Batman back there. Yeah, man, we can't hear it, of course, because we have the volume down, but does he sound like Jervis Tetch? Or does he put on a completely
He sounds like
different
Jervis
character?
Tetch doing a French accent. Oui, but of course, Batman, if you be so kind as to remove the cowl so I can work on the tête.
Oh, the kind of vague memories of this from childhood.
That's how he's going to get the
asking
cowl. He makes him remove the cowl so he can do a better sculpt of his head.
And Batman falls for this, world's greatest detective.
Well, he kind of sees through Octave Marbeau's disguise. And so he wants to play this out to see what the end game is.
He's
here for
gleaning.
Tetch. Yes.
He's getting information from
fishing. He's fishing here.
this
a little
Mad
bit.
Hatter. He's like, look, he's so mad he's going to make a mistake.
Yeah.
When they're angry, they make mistakes. Batman, at least this incarnation of Batman, always comes across as somewhat stoned or medicated. Never really gets excited.
No, because he's cool and calm, Kevin.
It's true.
He's got all the answers.
There's a version, though, where he's just like, takes a few pills, then goes out and beats the shit out of muggers.
All doped up.
Yeah, he's just like, fuck, who's fucking next? I'm not in here with you. You're in here with me.
When I was a kid, I dreamt of having that statue in my room.
The Batman statue?
Yes.
You can make that happen in this lifetime.
I suppose I could, but not that one. I want
Pretty
that
damn
one.
close. Pretty close.
I want that one.
What if somebody was like, happy birthday. Here's a free sculpture that looks exactly like that sculpture that you liked as a kid.
I'd spit on it.
Oh,
And I'd say, it's not the real one. It's a stupid replica. Fake.
see, that's the problem with this world. People are so quick to spit in the Batmobile, to spit On a Batman statue just because it's not the real deal.
No, of course I would love it. I always wondered how they made it.
The Batman statue?
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of work to go to for a prop for one episode.
Maybe it was a pre-existing statue that they put a cowl on and painted.
Yeah. You're pretty smart.
Well, I am in low-budget production.
That's
Ralph.
true.
So
you know how to save a buck.
What is the when are these fuckers going to get thrown in their death trap? And what is the death trap this time around? Is it that fucking conveyor belt we saw?
I don't think he ever gets on that.
That was the first and last time we saw it.
No, we see it again during a fight sequence.
Oh, but he doesn't get put on.
I don't believe he does. I'm trying to remember. Oh, I remember what it is now. It happens pretty soon. There's the real Octave Marbeau, by the way.
The guy who Jervis Tetch is.
Yeah, the real sculptor. I remember what the horrible, horrible death trap is on this one. Batman comes out to clean his clock. Well, I hate to give it away for people who are watching.
It's about to happen. You don't have to give it away.
You'll see what happens.
Soon it'll happen. Oh, yeah. Could you imagine this counted as action? And they're still superimposing the words on the screen.
Yeah, I think for the entire first season they do.
Let's see how
cost cutting until season 2.
Let's see if Jervis Tetch is mad enough to throw a punch himself.
I think he mixes it up.
Does he?
Yeah,
he's getting in there.
Yeah.
Look at him ganging up on Batman.
Robin's throwing himself at villains.
The what are we fighting for? Stop it. I'm a boy. Why would you do that to a boy?
Look how cool that statue is. Oh, now I remember why you can't have it anymore.
Why they destroyed it?
I think it just shattered.
Oh shit!
Here it is, mesmerizer.
Wing, 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 wing.
Oh,
shit! Bat mirror.
Uh-oh.
Oh no! Holy ricochet! He hit the wrong guy, man. If only he had just changed the angle of the mirror.
Now here comes the death trap.
Is that
super fast hardening plaster?
That's all it took to hit him with a fucking beanie or a hassock? What did he hit him with? That like made Batman go, ugh.
I missed it. It was a
A
barrel
bucket, maybe?
Yeah, barrel or something.
Now what are they like? What do we do with the boy?
Now Batman is going to smother inside tons of hardening plaster.
Mm-hmm.
That's
not a sexual metaphor. I don't know what it
as
is.
a claustrophobe from way back. That's a fate worse than death, although it will eventually lead to death.
Yeah.
Smothering to death under plaster. I told you the story. They tried to do that for me to make the prosthetic makeup for the Orville when I was doing that show.
Yeah, I remember
panicked
that.
and I ran out of the studio. I wouldn't let him do it. I could not bear the idea.
You and Jay, same thing.
Yeah.
When they tried to do a face cast for him, he was just like, and he tore it off and shit.
Yeah, I didn't even get to that stage. They didn't even get near me.
So wait, this is one of the rare death traps that involves Batman, no Robin.
Yes,
Robin's whole thing is like, he's just going to watch.
he's a cuck.
He's cucking
He's a
it
death
out.
cuck at this point.
Death cuck. He's
That'd
like,
be a great name for a band.
Death cuck. We are Death cuck.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are Death Cock. Watch us.
Watch us. You do it while I
Bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah. Oh, that was the first time.
No, I think we got it last week too, didn't we?
Man, oh man. Part 1 down, Ralph.
Yep.
And in that part 1, we saw perhaps the most vengeful Batman villain yet.
Yeah,
he's really Joker
to grind.
Didn't seem
Although
to.
Mr. Freeze also blamed Batman for spilling that freeze solution on him that made him sentenced him to a life of living in sub-zero temperatures.
Do you think it was wise of them to tell stories that as
Made
if
us
like,
sympathetic towards the villain?
yeah, like was it right to make them human? No, but to like not have every episode be the very first introduction of that character to Batman.
I think it was enormously helpful to the series to not have to worry about origin stories and stuff. Just jump into it. Just get into it, man.
I know, but why not at least like, this is the first time we're meeting you, kept.
Well, they do that some
commentary
episodes. Some episodes are new criminals where they're like, who could possibly be doing this? And I have no idea. And then
we got to meet this clown.
Yeah, then they discover who it is. But they do have some backstory for some of them, especially the ones that come from the comics, because if you were a kid who read the comics and you're reading this, it's like, he knows who Mad Hatter is. I read a dozen issues where Batman fought the Mad Hatter.
So in the ones we've watched so far, every one of the villains he's met before. Even Riddler in episode 1, they had tussled before.
Yes. He has not met Zelda the Great before, however. She was new.
One and done.
Yeah.
Sensing a theme here.
But so far, I think everyone else he has had prior interaction with. Yeah.
Shall we dive back in, Ralph?
Let's.
The rhyming title of this second parter is Batman Stands Pat.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that? Is that a phrase? Stands Pat?
Standing pat is a poker term, a card term. You don't take any cards. You don't give any away. You stand pat. You keep the cards you're holding.
All right, here we go. I press play, ladies and gentlemen. And now, waiting for Batman.
In color.
Yeah, you damn Skippy. Fade out, and we fade up, rather, on flashbacks to the previous episode.
So far, we have seen.
He's like, there's the cook who I'll fuck in the mouth later. That'll learn him. And this cat, fucking wannabe Sherlock Holmes, he's going to get it too.
How lucky is the Mad Hatter that all of the jurors that convicted him have interesting hats to collect? It would suck if he had like 12 Hamburgs or 12 pork pies. At least he's got a chef's hat and a fireman's helmet and a...
The hat seems to just be a, memento, but not, he don't need it.
He doesn't need the hats. No.
He wants that.
He's obsessed with hats, Kevin. I don't know if you picked that up on Mad Hatter.
Is he obsessed or is it just a shtick? Like the way you like Batman props and you have a whole room. Do you consider yourself obsessed or you're just a fan? He's like, I'm a hat fan. Look at my hair.
Enthusiast.
I fucking give it up for hats. I love going to Lids and they chased me out of the mall. So now I do this. I do want that statue now that you mention it, but I don't want this one.
Oh, no.
Look at how punch drunk he was when he hit that wall.
Yeah.
It's like he got drugged. Well, he wasn't mesmerized or nothing. This looks like a sarcophagus.
I know. I can't breathe.
You're feeling it?
Yep.
Here we go with the opening cartoon.
That spinning thing, by the way.
Yeah.
People always wonder what that is. That is a still shot of the Batmobile start button that they took and then spun it and to create that image that they use as the interstitials.
In every episode?
Almost every episode, yes.
So wait, it's a cartoon or
No, it's a still shot, a frame of the Batmobile start button. That one, remember you saw him flip the sign down earlier in the episode? Yeah. It's a shot of that, which I think they had from the pilot, and then they just spun it, and they used that as the interstitial for all those things. Because people always look at that and say, what is that thing that's spinning there?
So did they choose it because they're like, oh, it's more like they're sending
it's indistinguishable,
like, let's
it's
go.
Colorful, and it's just, if we just spin it, we can use it as an interstitial and no one will really care.
I never once wondered what it was, man.
See?
Look at that. Fucking, you're learning shit. When you got Ralph Garman talking Batman, yeah, there it is. David Wayne, spelled like Bruce Wayne, just like you said.
Yeah.
What's his henchman's name? Do you know?
It's Dicey and Cappy.
And what
Dicer and Cappy.
Is Dicer another name for hat?
I think there's a hat called a Dicer.
Yeah. So now they've got the dude that they kidnapped and he replaced.
Right.
And what does he want?
He wants him to chip away and then get the dead body out of the plaster so that Jervis Tetch will have a perfect mold of Batman's cowl. If he can't have the cowl, he'll have a perfect mold of it that he can then make a positive of and use that as the cowl
to be
for
fair,
his collection.
You could do this storyline today and fucking put a Nirvana song at the top of it and people would be like, that's pretty dark, man.
Pretty metal. Suffocating Batman in some plaster.
And he's like obsessed with fucking hats. Like, the Mad Hatter, if you're going to do him in movies now, man, he takes more than hats. He takes heads. He's like a fucking scalper or a what do they call it when a beheader.
Yeah.
He just collects fucking heads like Batman starts finding a bunch of headless bodies and shit.
And then all the heads have hats on them.
Yeah, they call him, the press came up with a nickname for him. Call him the Mad Hatter. Wow. And let's see, that Nirvana song is, what else can I say? Everyone. No, I guess that wouldn't work.
No.
Find another fucking moody song and shit.
See, Kevin, you're right. They're trying to steal it. Oh,
what
wait,
happens?
they fell for it.
There's the start button. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
Here we go.
Just like the Riddler, man.
There's the anti-crime bat rockets.
You fools seriously think they're going to let it be that easy for you to fucking steal the Batmobile? Come on, man. This is Batman and Robin. This ain't the lone Dark Knight. This is him with the Boy Wonder, for heaven's sakes. Look at that thick-ass belt. He looks like he won a wrestling match, didn't he? He's the AEW champion. He truly is. This guy's getting a lot of screen time. The fake French dude. He's French.
He's the real French dude.
But
Jervis Tetch was the
he
fake
ain't real
dude.
French in real life.
I don't believe so, no.
He didn't come back in some later episode?
Nope, that's it.
Do you think, his family was like, oh my God, I saw you on Batman this week. You were amazing.
You were so believable as a French sculptor.
Do
you sculpt in real life?
I didn't even know you spoke French like that.
Wow. Are you from France? Or perhaps Canada?
I really underestimated you.
I want to sleep with you now.
I would like to have sex with you.
TV star?
You've met Adam West and Burt Ward. You could call me their names while we have sex. And he's just like, oh, the fucking sweet labors, the fruits of the sweet labors. He's like,
this is worth getting to showbiz for.
Fuck yeah, it's going to be like this for the rest of my career. It's only going to ever get better.
Wait till I'm a star. Wait till I'm the lead in the next one.
If it's like this now, holy shit. Cut to. Any calls? No? Fuck.
Cut to. Blowing guys for beer money behind a pawn shop.
They're like, who, you fucking Jervis Tetch's prisoner? I was in that episode. You got your outfit? I'll pay $50 more if you blow me wearing the outfit.
Put on your beret. Frenchie. Now, here's the thing. They need to figure out what all these people have in common.
Yeah.
And then they realize
I have an unfair advantage going in because you told me.
Exactly.
So I knew.
They make up the 12 members of the jury. 12 hats, 12 people. Why 12? What comes in 12s? Donuts. Stupid.
Amendments. This is the world's greatest detective, mind you.
Well, they have to think stuff out, man.
And then when they finally get it, justice is served. They kill Jervis Tetch.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they put him in. Still not a bat computer, just
it's
the
still called the
anti-crime
anti-crime computer at this point. It'll be christened shortly.
Telling you, man, if they ever caught me, my defense would be like, it'd be total whataboutism, but I'd be like, look, who here hasn't killed somebody in the atomic pile? Raise your hands. And, a lot of us would.
Yeah.
He
Who's
would
casting
not.
the first stone?
Exactly. And I'm like, if any justice is going to be served, like, what did I do? I made a hat with a mesmerizer in it. This guy, what he did is horrible.
Where's justice for Molly's family, who will never see her atomized body again?
She's just dead in a cave, and no one's doing anything about it. Nobody seems to care. I'm the only one.
The police are covering up for him.
Literally with that glass case over the phone. I always wanted that in childhood. Like, Ma, can we get a glass case to put over the phone? And she was like, it's not real glass. She's probably right. It was probably made of plastic.
Probably
right?
was, yeah. Plexi.
My mom could see through all this charlatan bullshit.
Still, but even a plexi dome over your phone would be cool, right?
We weren't fucking wealthy like you running Paramount Pictures from the East Coast, Ralph.
Yeah, that's what my dad was doing, running Paramount Pictures.
Fucking little to the manor born business kid and shit. You're like when you watch 90210 and you're like fucking Steve. You're the Steve of this fucking shit. You're Ian Ziering, my friend.
I'm not.
You are.
I'm Dylan, man.
No, you ain't no
Coming
rebel.
from the mean streets of Minnesota.
Nah, man, you were born in entertainment, silver spoon in your mouth and shit. All the fucking Popeye posters you could want. All the Rosemary's Baby posters. I'm trying to think. All the Laverne and Shirley. Did you just do movies, not TV?
Just movies, yeah.
So
I had
as
some
a
good
TV
ones. I had
fan,
Godfather. I had Raiders. I mean, these are all original one sheets that just are gone to the dusts of time of history. I have no idea whatever happened to him.
You're like, I'm fucking blowing this popsicle stand, man. I'm going out to Hollywood to be famous. You can keep your sad ass Raiders of the Lost Ark poster, old man. I'll never need it. Cut to. Wish I had that fucking poster.
Sell that for a couple bucks right now.
That would have been enough for me. I would have been like, I got fucking a dad in the movie business.
If he brought home press kits and soundtrack albums and posters, that'd be enough for you, huh?
I mean, look, my father, I don't know if I could go so far as to say
probably got stamps, man.
Father
got free stamps.
We didn't. Not at all. We got free albums from Columbia Record House.
All the ones that people didn't want.
No, all the ones he just flat out stole out of the mail. Didn't realize that until late in life. I was like, oh my God, he just stole all those, didn't he?
That's a federal crime.
Well, he's dead now.
That's true.
And so is the Columbia record.
That's true.
Columbia
too.
House record.
So is the record.
Yeah. Oh my God. So wait, they don't even exist in any form, right? Columbia House.
They went to CDs for a minute, and now I think they're gone. They don't have this
now that
Columbia House of downloads.
That tale can be told now.
That's
now
true.
I can talk about how my father fucking took them for all they were worth. Send free albums in the mail for a penny, will you?
That'll teach you.
Yeah. He, that was good enough for me as a kid. I mean, stealing records, that's kind of cool. Like, if he'd been stealing money, maybe I probably would have thought that was cooler as a kid.
More useful than a bunch of records.
I can't get all judgy about
greatest hits of John Denver he brought home.
No doubt. And think about it, Columbia Record House, like, he don't know what he was getting.
No, you got whatever was in there.
But man, oh man, like the kind of guy that today you'd decry if he was like stealing fucking mail.
But even then, he probably should have been decried.
I mean, it's just Columbia Record House. Who's going to miss those?
It's the guy who ordered them.
Yeah, 10 for a penny, you greedy pig. You can let one of these go.
I'm waiting for Linda Ronstadt's Heart Like a Wheel, and next thing you know, the mailman shows up. I got dick. I'm getting nothing.
Because some dude in the sectional center is no good. He's no good. He's no good.
Oh.
Baby, he's no good.
You did it.
My father was my hero, Ralph, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, well.
But he would have been my superhero if he worked for Paramount Pictures.
See?
That would have
so
been
my
amazing.
Father is your hero, really.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Would you try to use like your Paramount connection, be like, can you get us Happy Days tickets?
Well, we were in Philadelphia and they were shooting Happy Days on a lot of Paramount. So it would have been, even if I got free tickets to go see Happy Days, it would have been a bit prohibitive.
Did he ever take you to Hollywood?
Yes. We went on a family vacation.
Yeah.
And we got a VIP tour of Paramount Pictures on a golf cart, just the four of us and a driver.
How old were you?
I was 11, 12. And we went to Arnold's. I sat in a booth at Arnold's.
Are you shitting me?
No.
Were you just like, oh my God, this is everything. My dad is fucking super famous.
You know what blew me away as I sat in the booth at Arnold's was that there was no wall up against the booth. Because when you watch the show, you assume you're looking through the fourth wall and that booth is part of Arnold's in a building. And when they're sitting there talking, you assume in your mind that there's a wall there, right? Because booths are always up against the wall.
Yeah.
When you see it on a soundstage, when it's wide open, it just looks glaringly odd that there's a booth in the center of the floor with no wall next to it.
And you were like, all entertainment is a lie. Like, your 12-year-old's awfully mouthy.
I got candy out of the general store of the Little House on the Prairie set.
Are you fucking shitting me?
Yeah,
they shot
the
that?
Olsons. They did interiors at Paramount.
You went into Olson's Mercantile?
I did, and I got penny candy, real candy out
from
of
the
jar.
old fucking West?
Yes.
Half pint candy? She couldn't even afford it.
Nope.
And her parents wouldn't let her steal it.
Nope.
Man, oh man, you were living the dream.
That trip sealed it for me. I knew what I was going to do the rest of my life. Spending the day walking around the set of all this cool stuff at Paramount.
Were you ever like, take us back? We must go back. Did you go often or just once?
Just once. One family trip to California.
I did that too, man.
Yeah.
And
spent the rest of my next 10 years trying to get back out.
And now?
And then I did. No, I just want to go back to Philadelphia.
Oh, here it is. It's just like, oh man, got to go home again where they got that cheesesteak sandwich.
I want a soft pretzel.
Well, you know what? I was making fun of you, but I do want a soft pretzel.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle. Well, what time is it? 9:54. 26 hours into a fast.
Oh my goodness.
So any fucking mention of food, man, that pretzel, I'm like, let's drive to Philly right now. Where do you get your cheesesteaks here in town?
Philly's best.
Aren't they great?
So good.
Haven't had them in, since I went
Since
vegan.
you stopped eating real food.
Gotta imagine you could fucking seitan a motherfucker and put some fake cheese. Like, they could add a vegan to the menu.
I suppose.
They could call it the Kev Smith.
Yeah, they could.
The Silent Bob, if you will. Come on. They could add a Beyond Burger to the menu.
Yeah, they could.
Then I could go in and stuff. Oh, man, they did pork roll there, too.
Yeah, they did.
Straight from the East Coast.
Taylor's.
Fucking don't you call it that. Sacrilege. Pork roll.
Taylor's pork roll.
Taylor ham. That's what dorks call it. It's just pork roll. You don't call it Taylor's
Taylor
pork roll.
was the manufacturer, was the
Yeah.
brand that we liked. That was the best one.
Yeah, but you just call it pork roll.
All right.
And
Jersey
then
boy. Tell
some
me more
people-
about Philadelphia food.
The fight in Jersey is whether you call it pork roll or Taylor ham.
Well, I never
Some
called
fuckers
it
call it
Taylor
Taylor ham, where you're like, must you make everything unnecessarily complicated? Pork roll. I guess some cats were like, that just sounds gross. But I'm like, back then when I was a meat eater, all of it sounded good.
Yeah.
Pork roll. And
It's
then
all
later
good,
on in
that's why.
life, you spend all your adulthood trying to fucking pork and roll.
There you go.
See what I'm saying? It's a metaphor, Ralph.
It's life.
What's going on in Batman?
We haven't mentioned a thing in the past 15 minutes, but one of the other members of the jury,
Is dead. He's killed them all.
Bowinkle, who had the famous Bullwinkle's bowler, has been captured, and they got the bowler, and now they're setting a trap for Batman to come in and get shredded. He's flipped his lid. See what he said there? In reference to his hat and his brain.
He's crazy, not you two fuckers for following him.
True.
They're like, we need a job. This is about work. Boy, what happens when he gets the 12 jurors and presumably kills them all and gets Batman and kills him? Is he done, or is he then commit more crimes?
I think revenge would be sated at that point, and then he could start focusing on more lucrative crimes. His bloodlust will be sated, and he'll be able to go out and start stealing things of value again, I assume.
He'll go back to his old ways and
his
shit.
old larcenous ways, yes.
So, sorry.
Sometimes the only way to get rid of an obsession is to indulge that obsession, Kevin.
Or do you think he feels like, if I kill the jury, then that can never convict me?
I don't think he's that dumb. Because then they just impanel another jury.
Where's this shot, you think?
That looks like Warner's to me.
In a real side
It
alley.
looks like the New York Street at Warner Brothers.
How they cornered that fucker with this car is beyond
Yeah,
me.
really.
They had to manually bring it to the head of the alley, it feels like. And look at the alley looks a lot bigger from that shot.
Yeah, very different shot.
Even as a young kid, I might have noticed that and been like, wait a second. But TV will shape how you see reality too, where you're like, well, maybe I'm wrong. Uh-oh, is this going to require a climb?
It is. I'm trying to think if this is the first window shot.
Where somebody pops out?
Yeah, I'm trying to think which episode has the first window in it.
It
Always
hasn't
bothered me, this
happened
is
yet.
daytime, and then when they look out the window, it's nighttime. They didn't even shoot it day for night the way they usually do. It's just like bright daylight downstairs and dark upstairs.
Look at these
That
cats.
kind of bugged me.
Places, everybody. Places. Smiles, everyone. Smiles. And now it's night. They started their climb during the day.
Yes.
But it's so long.
It's a long
It's taking them to night, man. It's fucking-
sundown.
The sun
No,
down,
there is no-
yeah,
there's no-
banner
there's no-
everywhere. No, that
there's
is
no
one of
mist.
the rare times we get to see him crash through windows.
Yeah, I
now.
love that.
They don't do that a lot. They're generally kind of nice about entering a room, opening a window, but
Yes.
when they crash through, that's some comic book stuff right there. And right about now, they figured out, they're like, oh my God, this sick maniac has cut off the heads of all these jurors.
Different version.
They all wore hats, conveniently enough. Oh, you didn't see that coming,
See?
did you? Look at how only this Batman could anyone ever get the drop on, particularly an old man in a hat.
He doesn't want to make any sudden moves and have anybody get hurt.
I want to put Batfleck up against Jervis Tetch here. Our modern day Batfleck up against This Mad Hatter.
Beat him to a bloody pulp.
Oh my God. Could you imagine? He'd be like fucking pulling crates into their heads and fucking like stabbing them, literally stabbing them. And then
their throats out.
At the end of that one scene, he looks like he either punches the dude in the nuts or grabs his nuts.
Yeah.
Like, he ain't fucking around.
He's not playing by the rules.
And then this Batman, you send to fucking Snyderverse and shit. The dude's like, I'll kill her when he's got the fucking torch on Superman's mom.
Right.
And this guy's like, citizen, perhaps you might not. That would fucking change his secret origin story. He was like, it was a lark. Fighting crime was a goddamn lark until I smelled burning flesh of the Snyderverse. That's possible now with the multiverse, man.
That's true.
Think about it. In a world where Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck going to be in the same Flash movie, and before it's all said and done, you might actually get what's his name as well, Chris Nolan's kid,
Bale.
Yeah, Christian Bale as well. If Adam was still around, he'd be in it. It was always kind of heartbreaking they didn't put him in the 1989 Batman.
I thought so too,
but they were really trying to make their
such distance. They didn't want any connection.
But I mean, he easily could have played. I mean, any number of like side characters, didn't have to be a main. And it was nice that the Batman animated series made him the Gray Ghost.
In '89, they Clayton Moored him. Remember when they came to Clayton Moore when they were doing the new Lone Ranger and said you can't dress up anymore at your personal appearances and sign autographs and shit? Did the same thing to Adam.
Are you kidding?
Adam used to wear the costume.
Really?
Yeah.
And so in 1989, they were like, that's over.
It's our character. You don't own that. You can't wear that costume anymore.
So, and that was the way it was until like he passed away.
He never put it on again. Yeah.
Wow, man. Well, I mean, look at this. This is where shit, and look at how happy he is to watch this boy die. He's a boy killer, Ralph.
He is. I forgot he puts Robin on the conveyor belt.
Never mind, like, fucking all these, people he's trying to kill. He's like, literally like, I don't even know who this boy is, but I want him dead. He may be the most psychotic Batman villain yet on the show. I mean, the Riddler, goofy with a lot of riddles. Look at this. Some sharp knives going on.
Real mayhem here.
This guy is literally trying to choke Batman to death.
Yes.
Like
he wants to cut his head off with some felt knives on a conveyor belt.
And there's no way he can be a match for him, but he's going to go down fucking try and look at him. He's giving it his all. Now he's like, I'm going to choke this boy to death, this teenage boy, and I'll live with it. I will live with the consequences. Jerk off to it later. I'll think about it. I'm going to tear off some of his hair and bring it with me. Smell when I masturbate. Think about how fucking evil I am. This is truly the most psychotic and crimson of the villains yet.
Yes.
I feel like.
I agree.
Like, who else holds a candle to this? Zelda? I mean, maybe she made an old lady dangle.
Did want to potentially boil an old lady in hot oil.
But she, crocheted through it. So she was using her time productively, using her time wisely. I felt like, wow, this felt like a fucking early end to the episode, but it almost is.
Yeah.
I guess we spent so much time not talking about Batman.
That could have been
in the beginning.
Got a little distracted.
How come this chick's going to walk away scot-free?
She isn't. She's going to the big house.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
She's going to be arrested.
The hat with the mesmerizer. Whoa, man. Like everybody was like, whoa, look at this tech, this Jervis tech.
Oh my Lord.
See, she easily could have played a member, a part of the storyline.
And Harry?
Yeah, with the hats and stuff.
Nah, she wasn't in the jury.
They were like one per season. We already did our Harriet episode.
No, she's got some good stuff coming up.
What, in season 1?
Yeah.
What happens? She falls in love?
Yes.
With Penguin? No,
season 2 she does.
With Penguin?
No, she falls in love with Liberace.
That's right. Who's he play?
He plays the dual characters.
Yes.
He plays the famous Chandel, the famous pianist, and also Chandel's evil twin brother, Harry, who's a gangster.
Right. Oh,
you get to see Liberace butch it up.
I can't wait
see,
for that.
you guys are really bothering me.
Do you think Anne Harriet thought she had a shot? She's like, oh, I'm working with Liberace. I'm going to totally get his pants
He's
off.
good looking.
Yeah.
We'll probably end up in bed together.
Meanwhile, he's like, madam, you have no idea.
Liberace's like, I'd like to talk more to Burt Ward if you don't mind.
I wish my brother George was here, or any George. I don't want to talk to this old woman. Did you play the dangler, dear? Very good. Moving on. Hello, Tiger. It is a disturbing two-parter, Ralph. Oh, and look, next week, this guy's
Return of
back.
the Joker. Oh, this is a good one coming up.
He'll never seem as crazy as Jervis Tetch, whose whole fucking sole motivation for this episode was murder and mayhem.
Yes.
And not for financial gain,
No.
just to be a dick
Sheer
about
rage. Sheer rage and revenge.
shit. Fuck, man. Give it up to him. That's a pretty twisted tale.
I love it.
More of this. Less of everybody giggling and fucking
Wow.
dangling old women.
Your bloodlust has no end.
I want to see this. I like this. This could totally play. You could take this plot, and play it today, and it would work. And like just how like in a Batman movie today, you can't really kill people, but you can get like fucking real close and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, they're killing people in this new Batman movie, but I mean, not on camera.
Just sending heads with hats on them. Like 7.
Oh my God, that's so good. And then they got to figure it out, and they're like,
Holy hats, what's in the box?
What
What's
is-
in the box, Batman? What's in the box? Don't look in the box, Robin. Don't look in the box. I could play out that scene in the field.
and then do David Wayne as what's his name? As
John Doe.
yeah.
Look in the box, Robin. I think you'd be surprised what you find in there.
What is he? He goes, become Wrath.
Yes, right.
Do that, and then I'll let you stop.
Become Wrath.
Ooh, nice. You held it out for like 9 syllables.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Did you learn some cool shit, ladies and gentlemen? I sure did. Did you have fun? I sure did. What about you, Ralph?
I always have fun hanging out with you, Kevin Smith.
Good times.
Culturally relevant Kevin Smith.
Thank you. I've heard that before.
I've hung out with a lot of guys, but never anyone as culturally relevant as you, sir.
Thank you, Penn Jillette, for that particular pat on the back. Come back next week, ladies and gentlemen, when we're going to get into the Joker two-parter, man. The Joker goes to school.
Mm-hmm.
He meets his match.
The Grizzly Ghoul.
This is Joker in college?
This is Joker. I love this episode. Joker infiltrates the Gotham City High School where Dick Grayson goes, trying to recruit delinquents to join his evil band of ne'er-do-wells.
Henchmen. He's looking for
Yes,
henchmen.
he's looking for henchmen.
Wow.
The Bad Penny Gang, as
And
they are known.
does Dick fall prey?
Not only does Dick not fall prey, but Batman sends Dick Grayson undercover as a delinquent to try to pump the henchmen for information. And Burt Ward puts on a black leather motorcycle jacket and
Plays it tough.
goes undercover as a bad kid.
I'm ready, man.
Yeah, it's a fun episode.
Hmm.
But there is no grisly murder, unfortunately, for you.
It's all right. I'd like to see him go all butch in the fucking leather jacket. That'll be
Pretty
fun
funny
and
when he
stuff.
strolls into
And
the
also,
candy shop.
Cesar Romero. He's no slouch, right?
Can't beat him. I love him.
It's crazy, man. Every time I watch that new trailer for the Batman, I'm like Catwoman, Penguin, Riddler.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're fucking what? Who's missing from the sub?
Joker.
That's it.
That's it.
God, with one more. And there's rumors he may pop up in this movie at the end, the new Joker.
I hadn't heard.
So
Who's
could.
the new Joker?
They don't know yet.
Oh, or
But
they're not saying.
still looking at, or maybe they don't. Maybe they're not telling us yet.
Yeah.
But they did say there's a rumor that like he pops up at the tail end.
Always dubious about multiple villains in these movies. Doesn't ever seem to be serviced well when you've got that many characters that you need to take care of.
Trailer look good though.
Yeah, for sure. Looks amazing.
Then stop worrying. It's gonna be fine. This ain't the old days where they're like putting Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey in a movie together, and they're like, quick, throw in some.
Because remember, like '89, Joker was fucking awesome, and they said, "Well, we got to double down. We got to put Catwoman and Penguin in there." And that was like,
we got to give them two.
And then Max Shrek too was a villain. I'm like, what's going? How many stories are going on here? Just tell me what a good one.
Too many cooks, Ralph.
Too many cooks.
You heard Grandpa fucking get angry.
Just give me one villain like we did in the old days.
There's so many confusing storylines.
Just focus on one bad guy and let me follow my stories.
If you've got a grandparent like this, kids, then what you might want to do is get them a box set of Batman 66.
Now that's when heroes were heroes and villains were villains one at a time.
It's a pacifier for people of a certain age. Don't buy it digitally. He don't know how to operate a computer.
I can't work my damn smarty pants phone and watch television on it at the same time.
In fact, it's worth looking at eBay to see if you can find a VHS edition.
I like my big tapes. I can read them with the font on the label, and I know what slot it goes in. Now there's all kinds of little slots and big slots. There was only one slot when I was watching things.
Big tapes. Bob's Big Tapes.
And they had nice big artwork on the boxes at the Blockbuster. You could peruse an aisle and find a show that you loved.
Do you remember, like, most standard VHS box art, of course, was the size of a VHS slipped into the case?
Indeed.
Sleeve, if you will. Do you remember, though, the Tales from the Dark Side VHSs? Their boxes were completely different and oversized.
No.
Yeah. They were packaged way differently.
Hmm.
So if you went to the video store and you went to the shelf to like rent, pick a flick, you would see them. They pop way bigger. They were the size of porn boxes. Remember the size of the porn boxes?
Yeah.
How those were completely oversized.
Yes.
So nobody could ever make a mistake. Not that like seeing a close up of somebody with a dick in their mouth would maybe send you a signal.
Wouldn't be a hint.
Yes. They were that size, like almost clamshell size.
Wow.
But it did make them pop out. Very good.
The more you know.
It's not always Batman trivia, kids. Sometimes it's Tales
Josh
from the Dark
Roush was
Side.
here. He'd play that drop right now.
That's true. A little bit of needle drop missing on that one. All right. Before things get any more obvious, kids, we should probably get out of here. If you enjoyed yourselves, you have one person to thank for that. You, for choosing this podcast to listen to. You could choose any number of other podcasts. You're choosing to trip the lights fantastic, bat-tastic with me and Ralph Garman. If you enjoyed this at all, it's because the man's sitting across from me. Give it up for the great Ralph Garman.
And let's hear it from my bestest Babble and Bat buddy, Mr. Kevin Smith.
And that is Hollywood Babble-On for this week. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Ralph Garman.
What, did you forget?
You slipped it by me so quickly. I was waiting for my cue and I didn't hear it. Yes.
Babble the fuck off. Stay alert, everybody. Unlike my co-host.
This has been a production of Smodco Internet Radio. Sir, only at smodcast.com.